all of your extra perceptual abilities are going to heighten. So if you feel like you've had a spiritual awakening, get ready, because it's going to get even more intense. You're getting upgraded too. We're all getting upgraded this year. Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. In this video today, you're going to find out if you are one of the chosen ones at this time in the history of our planet. You will know by the end of this video if you are one of the chosen ones. So 2023 is going to be a huge year for lightworkers. It's going to be the year of the lightworkers. And the reason why that is because 2023 is a 7 universal year in numerology. And if we add all of the numbers together in the year 2023, it reduces to a number 7. So this is a 7 universal year. And I talk about my predictions for the year 2023 for the entire world on a mass level, as well as on a very personal level, based on what your personal year number is in my predictions video. So definitely check that video out if you haven't already. But why is it that the 7 energy is so important this year for lightworkers? If you look at the number 7, it looks like a very sharp number. It has that little sharp edge at the corner, right? And it looks very sharp, like it could cut something, right? And so that's what the 7 energy is. It's a very sharp energy. It's all about knowledge seeking and truth finding, and it's sharp on all levels. Sharp intellectually, sharp perceptually, being able to see things that other people cannot see. And it's the type of sharp energy that is good for cutting, right? So what happens is we all are walking around with what I call all these extra layers that we don't need, right? Think of it as an onion. And at the core of the onion is who we really are when we are first born and we first incarnate onto the planet, and that's who our soul really is, right? But as time goes by, as the years go on, trauma happens, bad things happen, we start to be conditioned, we start to accumulate other people's baggage and take on other people's negative energy, and as time goes by, the layers of the onion start to develop, right? And it's just one layer after another. And it starts to cloud who we really are, which is the core of the onion. That's who we really are, is the core of the onion. We're not all the layers. The layers are the extra baggage that has started to build up over time as we go through life, basically, right? What happens during a 7 universal year and a 7 personal year is the 7 energy comes in like that sharp little edged knife, right? It comes in and it starts to cut away all of that baggage, right? Starts to cut away all the extra layers of the onion that are not needed, that are there clouding who you really are at your core, and it just cuts away. It cuts them all away. It peels away all of the layers of the onion. So you can really see this happening when people have 7 personal years, but you can also see it happening on a mass level when there's a 7 universal year. A lot of times there's some sort of catalyst to make this happen. There can be some sort of catalyst type of event to make this energy sort of happen where the layers start getting peeled away, right? So like we saw this during the pandemic, because if you look at the numbers in the name for the pandemic, which I did a video on, so you can check that out if you want, the energy is the number 7, which is the spiritual teacher. So the spiritual purpose of the pandemic was a spiritual teacher. So sometimes during 7 years, you can see some sort of big event happening like that, something that is big that kind of makes people spend more time on their own and go within, right? Because what happens when you have tons of distractions around you is you don't really get to have that chance to kind of question things and start to spend time by yourself and kind of go within and take that inward journey, right? Because that's what the 7 is all about. It's cutting away the layers of the onion, peeling them away so we can get to who we really are at our core. And that has to happen when all of those distractions are gone. So yeah, there can be big events that happen that kind of force this to happen, or there could be personal events that happen to each individual person, right? All for the purpose of the 7-year being the spiritual teacher and helping you to peel away the baggage and the layers that are not really you at your core. And who you really are at that core, the core of the onion, is the soul that is within the body, right? You're the soul. So in this giant play of life, we're all just actors. And you're just playing a part. You're playing a character in this play. And Earth is a university, right? It's a huge university for souls to come down and learn lessons. And in order to have that happen, we participate in these plays where you're playing a character, right? And you're not really the character, you're the actor. Before you were born, you planned all of this out. You planned who would be in your play, who would be the bad guy in your play, who would be the good guy in your play, who you would be the good guy and the bad guy in somebody else's play, right? You signed all of this with other souls, you had agreements with them, you planned it all out, and then you come down to planet Earth and you act it out. But what happens is most people end up forgetting that they're just the actor in the play. They're not really the character. And so people start to identify too much with the character that they're playing, basically. And it's all really just kind of like a matrix. It's all fake. It's all an illusion. It's all just set up so that souls can come down to the planet and learn their lessons and have a lot of spiritual growth and development. I do talk about this a lot more in my video about this great spiritual awakening that's happening on the planet right now. So definitely check that video out if you haven't already. So there's a lot of people that have forgotten about this. And they're identifying more with the layers that are surrounding their onion, and they're not identifying with the core, who they really are, which is the soul, the actor playing the part in this play. And we're moving into a time in which this will change, right? A lot of people are waking up to this and starting to find the truth about the universe and a lot of things that have been hidden from us and a lot of things that have been kept secret. And a lot of people are finding out about these truths. We're ascending into new Earth. A new Earth is being created, and we're leaving the old Earth behind, in which people had forgotten these things and cared more about the ego and the character that they're playing. And we're moving into a time in which people will not operate like that anymore because people will know the truth. The planet will be more love-based. It's going to be a much higher vibrational place to be than it currently is, or that it has been for thousands of years. And that's what the 7 years do. The 7 universal years, they come in as the spiritual teachers to help propel us into that new era that we're moving into of New Earth. They come in to help make that happen because of that cutting energy of the number 7, where it just cuts it away. And 7 is the number of the truth seeker and the knowledge seeker. And that's part of what the 7 years are about. Seeking the knowledge that has been hidden from us, that we are not aware of, that has been distorted, and finding the truth. Now, a light worker is a person who basically helps people to become lighter, right? A light worker is somebody who helps people to get rid of those layers. And those layers are baggage, right? We're all carrying around a bunch of baggage. And basically what a light worker does is they are somebody who has signed up to come down to the planet at this time to help people to remove those layers and essentially help people to remove the baggage that they're carrying around so that they can become lighter people. And when that happens, when the people on Earth become lighter, then the Earth and the planet becomes lighter, right? Because we are just the cells of this organism, right? The planet is kind of like a large organism, and we're just the cells on top of it. And so for the planet to ascend and to become lighter and more high vibrational and lower in density, the people on the planet have to make that shift and have to make it happen. And so a light worker is somebody who agreed to come down to the planet at this time to help with this process. They are often thrown into families of great turmoil, or they have challenging lives. They go through a lot of stuff, and it's just a lot of challenges that they have to deal with, and it's not easy for them. They basically have to learn how to walk through the fire. They have to learn how to heal themselves and to remove all of the baggage and the layers that are surrounding them first, right? That's part of the process, is you learn how to do this for yourself first. And they have awakened to a lot of these truths that have been hidden from us and learned about a lot of tools, right? Like numerology and astrology. And they learn about these things all for the purpose of them to help them to remove the baggage and the layers so that they can become lighter. And then they learn how to do this for themselves, and they go out and they do this for other people. Now, that's not to say that lightworkers are perfect people and they don't have any baggage. We all have baggage that we're carrying around, right? So even lightworkers still have stuff that they have to work on themselves, but they've just done a lot more work than most people have. And they've been able to remove a lot of the layers compared to other people. And as I mentioned before, these are people who have not had easy lives. They've had to overcome a lot of challenges. But in addition to that, these are people that often don't feel like they fit into the world. So that's a big sign of being a light worker. You feel like you just don't really belong here. And that's because you don't, right? You're not meant to fit into the old world because you were meant to help lead and to create the new world. So you're never going to fit into the old world because you weren't meant to be a part of that world. So that's a big one for light workers, is that feeling of not really feeling like you've ever really belonged or that you've ever really fit in. This is going to be a big year for light workers on planet Earth. This is the year of the light worker, 2023, because of the 7 energy. And the light worker is the person that goes in there and cuts away all the layers and the baggage. And that's what the 7 energy is. And so yes, the light workers are the chosen ones at this time because they've been chosen to do something that is very difficult, right? They've had to walk through the fire, and now they're having to help other people to do the same. And if you watch my channel, all my subscribers, you guys are the light workers. That's you guys. And if you're watching this video, then you are probably a light worker. You would not have been drawn to this content, to this type of video, if you weren't a light worker. There are no coincidences. You were guided here and you were brought here for a reason. You're one of those people that decided to come down to the planet at this time to help with this process. You're one of those chosen people, one of the chosen ones at this time, right? Because this is a specific time in which you are needed. So during this time, you are one of the chosen ones. If you are watching this, you are a light worker. You are one of those people that was chosen to walk through the fire during this time and to help other people to do the same. Now you're being called to action this year in 2023 because you're being asked to step up to the plate. This is a huge historic year for the ascension of the planet. Hundreds of years from now, when they look back at the history of the planet and they wonder what were the pivotal years that helped us really to transition into this higher vibrational, love-based new earth, where it's not about the ego and it's about love and heart-centered and caring for other people. And you become love-based because you've let go of the baggage and you realize that we are all connected because we all signed up for our parts in this play before we were born, and we all planned this out, right? You see it from a higher perspective. When you see it like that, you're seeing it from the 5D, and you're living in the 5D, right? You always hear about people talking about the 5D. That's what the 5D is. It's seeing it from the point of view of our spirit guides, right? Because our spirit guides are seeing it from that point of view. They see the little dramas and the things that we're dealing with, and they're just like, that's part of the play, right? That's just part of the play that we signed up for. So they're seeing it from a higher perspective, and that's what the 5D is. It's moving into that higher perspective of seeing it from a higher point of view. A lot of people are going to be waking up this year to these truths because of the 7 energy, whether it's something that is forced upon them or it's something that they choose to do, because that happens during a 7 universal year, where suddenly, without any reason at all, people are learning about stuff that they would have never, been exposed to before. They're becoming more open-minded, more knowledge-seeking. So a lot of people will be going through spiritual awakenings this year, right? Whether this be because of some, catalyst type of event or something that they are choosing to do. A lot of people are going to be waking up and learning about these hidden truths, right? They're going to be learning about the 7 laws of the universe, right? There's 7 laws in the universe. The law of one, the law of projection, the law of attraction,
A lot of people have heard about the law of attraction, but the other 6 laws, a lot of people have never heard of before, right? But they're going to be learning about that this year. And a lot of people will be waking up and they're not going to know what to do with it. They're not going to know how to act because they haven't walked through the fire like you have. And so you're being called to action during this year to help those people with that process because you have walked through the fire before. You have gone through the spiritual awakening. You wouldn't be watching this if you haven't been through the fire. So your chakras are a lot more open than most people. What that means is that most people, when you look at their chakras, most people on the planet actually have very blocked chakras. But for you light workers that have gone through the spiritual awakening, who have woken up to a lot of these truths, your chakras are a lot more open than most people. So you're able to receive a lot more higher vibrational, higher level of consciousness type energy than other people. A lot of you know these things. You have come to realize it through your spiritual awakening. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that, they suddenly become aware of this stuff and they don't know what to do. And so suddenly people are going to start becoming more who they really are at their core, and those layers are going to be peeled away, right? Because that's what the 7 energy is. Then there's going to be a realization that they don't really resonate with some of the things in their life. So you could see a lot of people leaving their jobs this year, or a lot of people leaving relationships, breaking up, getting divorced, moving, or if not actually taking the action, at least a lot of people are going to be seriously thinking about it and really struggling in their head because they don't know what to do with all of this new information that is being given to them. And that's where you come in, because you're being called to action as one of the chosen ones to help guide people during this time, because you're going to be greatly needed. You've already done a lot of work and you've learned what to do and how to handle some of this higher level information, and you've learned a lot of tools to help in this process. You're being called to step up and to lead or to help and guide people that will be going through a similar process to what you went through, with your spiritual awakening. They're going to be going through a similar process to you. So any tools that you've learned about to help people to discover what their true purpose is. Numerology, right? My subscribers, all of you have learned so much about numerology. Astrology, right? These are all tools that we use just so that we can become aware of the contract, right? That we had signed previously before we were born, to discover what our true purpose is, what we were really meant to do while we are here, and what our true passions are, and what do we need, where do we need to go next, right? So those are some of the tools. There is a group of people called the New Earth leaders, right? These are the people that they have a lot of spiritual and leadership numbers within their chart. And they're what I call the New Earth leaders that are really here to help lead the way for planet Earth into the New Earth. Those New Earth leaders are the people that are here to do it first and to kind of guide people and to show people the way. And they're often asked to take a leadership position as a light worker. So I did a video about these New Earth leaders and how to find out based on your numbers in your chart if you are one of these people. So check out that video if you haven't already. I'll put a link to it below in the description box. But you don't have to take a leadership position as a light worker. You don't have to start a YouTube channel or start a website or a business, a spiritually based business. That would be a New Earth leader type of thing to do, right? Taking a more of a leadership position. But as a light worker, you don't have to do that. You just being that kind, caring, empathetic person to a friend or a colleague or a family member, somebody who is going to be struggling this year, because that's what happens during the 7 year. And you might use some of your tools, your spiritual tools that you've learned about to kind of help them during this time. There has to be some sort of struggle to make that awakening happen, right? The awakening doesn't just happen on its own. There's usually some sort of event. You could see a lot of people getting laid off from their jobs during the 7 universal year. 7 is a very non-materialistic number. It's the least materialistic number out of all of them. So like I talk about this in my video, that you'll often see contractions within economies during 7 years. And what happens when we have contractions in the economy? A lot of people get laid off from their jobs. There's that other group of people that will be struggling because maybe they've lost their job and they don't know where to go next. They don't know what their purpose is. They've been distracted so long with just being in survival mode, trying to survive, that they don't know what to do next. And that's where you come in. And light workers are being called to step up to the plate this year. And basically what's happening is everybody is getting upgraded, right? That's another thing that happens during the 7 year, because 7 is it's like an upgraded kind of energy. It's like, think of like downloads. You receive a lot of downloads with the 7 energy, and a download basically helps to upgrade you. So light workers, you guys are going to be upgraded too. So if you feel like you've had a spiritual awakening, get ready, because it's going to get even more intense. You're getting upgraded too. All of your extra perceptual abilities are going to heighten, and you're going to be receiving higher levels of consciousness, more so than you could have ever even imagined. We're all getting upgraded this year. And you light workers who have already been on this path, you're going to an even higher level, for sure. That's what happens during the 7 energy. And so you're being asked to work on your stuff as well, because we all have baggage. We all have stuff that we have to work on, right? You're being asked to lead and to guide them, but you're also being asked to protect yourself at the same time, setting boundaries and protecting your energy, because that's going to be really important for light workers this year. And a lot of light workers are empaths, and they absorb other people's energy. So you're being asked to protect yourself from all of this. Check out a video I did on how to find out if you're an empath and how to protect yourself. I'll put a link to it below in the description box. You're being asked to share your knowledge with people that you would have never suspected would ever be interested in some of the spiritual stuff that, they seem like they would never, have an interest in it. You'll be surprised that during a 7 universal year, people are a lot more open to abstract, out-of-the-box types of concepts, right? Because what happens during a 7 year is, like I said, everybody's chakras start to open up a little bit more. That's right, we have 7 chakras in our body. 7, right? We have 7 within our body. We have some chakras above us and below us as well, but within our body, there are 7 chakras. So the chakras definitely start to open up a lot more during a 7 year, and especially the 7th chakra, right? Because the 7th chakra is the crown chakra. Right? That's the number 7 chakra. And interesting that this year in the UK, somebody is getting crowned, right? They're having a coronation during a 7 year. And the 7th chakra is the crown chakra. Coincidence? I don't think so. So as a light worker, your crown chakra could really open up this year exponentially. And suddenly, your clairs and your extra perceptual abilities, your claircognizance, your clairsentience, your clairvoyance, even if you think that they're open already, during a 7 personal year and a 7 universal year, well, they really open up. And it can be pretty shocking, because if you think they're already open, get ready, because we're getting upgraded in all of these areas, especially with the claircognizance. That's a big one during a 7 year, where people's claircognizance really gets upgraded, for sure. In this 7 knowledge-seeking, truth-seeking kind of energy, a lot of people are going to be discovering not only that, we signed up for all of this before we were born, and that Earth is just a university, but also they're going to be discovering that there's many universities out there in the universe, right? Because, if you think of the planet, there's not just one university, there's not just Oxford or Harvard. There are multiple universities on the planet, multiple universities where people can learn. Well, it's like that in the universe too. There are multiple planets like Earth where souls come to learn, and they come to become more spiritually advanced and to grow. And Earth is actually one of the most difficult universities. It's one of the most difficult planets to come to out of all of them, because it's so low in density and low in vibration, and because it's a planet of duality. It's a very difficult planet to incarnate onto. But a lot of people are going to be discovering this, that there's other planets out there, there's other ET groups as well. We're not the only group that's alive out there in the universe. There are a lot of other ET groups, and people will be discovering what these groups are, what their names are, what their characteristics are. And some of these people will be discovering that they're star seeds as well, right? That their origins are actually not on planet Earth. They might have had a few incarnations onto the planet Earth, but their origins, meaning that most of their lifetimes in which they have incarnated, are actually on other planets. And a lot of people are going to be discovering this, that they're star seeds. And if you want to find out if you're a star seed, because a lot of light workers actually are star seeds. Not all of them are, but a lot of them actually are star seeds. A lot of them are star seeds or earth angels. If you want to find out if you are one of these and where exactly your origins come from, then check out my video on these. I'll put a link to them in the description box. But star seeds are people that basically they've only had like one or a few incarnations onto the planet. Most of their incarnations have been on other planets. And so Earth can be even more challenging and difficult for them. But a lot of them signed up to come down to planet Earth specifically at this time to help with the ascension of the planet, to move it into a more higher vibrational planet. Basically, they signed up to come here at this time. And during a 7-year, people dive deep. We're going to be diving deep this year because 7 is ruled by Neptune. And Neptune is the planet of water, right? And so that's what it's all about. It's all about diving deep, going to the depths of the ocean that we have never seen before, discovering and seeing parts of that ocean that we didn't even know existed. That's what we're doing this year. We're diving deep. Everyone's going to be diving deep, and light workers are going to be diving even deeper, right? You're taking your awakening to a whole nother level, right? Completely off the charts this year. But you're still being called to help out everybody else in the process while you take that giant leap. And so in that regard, you are a chosen one this year, right? Because it's not easy doing this. It's not an easy path, for sure. If you're a light worker, you know this. You know this. I'm a life path 7, so I love the 7 energy. It's actually the number that I resonate with the most out of all of them. It was the number that got me into numerology, because it was when I saw that I was a life path 7 that I knew that this stuff is real. That's what convinced me, because it was so accurate about who I am at my deepest level. Like, I am the true essential 7. And I love this energy. And I'm happy to see that we're all getting to take advantage of this beautiful energy this year. And there's a reason why they call it 7th heaven, right? 7th heaven, because with the 7 energy, there really can be heaven on earth during a 7 universal year and a 7 personal year. So what that means is that we can make it happen. We can make heaven happen here on planet Earth. And we can get a lot closer to heaven during a 7 year. And so yes, we can totally make it heaven on earth this year. It's going to be a beautiful year, and you especially are going to make that happen, because that's what you are being called to do. And so I thank you as a light worker. I thank you for taking this call to action that you are being given by the universe. Take it and go out there and spread the knowledge and spread the love during this year. And we, as a planet, we will get to New Earth so much faster because of this year, because of the year 2023. So thank you so much, all you light workers out there. I love you guys. It's not easy being a light worker. I know this. And you are being blessed and you are being guided as those people that are here to help the planet at this time. So I hope that this information resonated with you, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people, because it really helps to get this information out there when you do that. And these videos do take a lot of time to put together for you guys, so share and like, and I would love to have you subscribe and to become part of the family. If you want to book a personal reading with me so we can take a look at your purpose and your chart and what you signed up for and came up with before you were born, you can head on over to my website, StarsAlignWithCarmen.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.